is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Ohio.
The Indians continue their trip in the AL Central with a KC showdown against All-Star Game MVP Eric Hosmer and the Royals. The Tribe leads the division by 6.5 games over the Tigers and sit a full 8 games in front of the defending Central champs. A series win in Kansas City would be a huge boost for the Indians and a body blow to the Royals, who are trying to hang around as the trade deadline fast approaches. Tribe All-Star Corey Kluber makes his first start of the second half next on Sports Time Ohio. Kansas City, Missouri. The road trip rolls on, and an excessive heat warning in effect for most of the afternoon here in the KC area. It will be sweltering as game time approaches tonight here at Kauffman Stadium. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Speaking of hot, that's the Cleveland Indians. They have the best record right now in the American League, and a big reason for that, Rick, is their play in the American League Central Division. They went to Minnesota. They took care of business there. In fact, in taking 2 out of 3 from Minnesota, we learned this morning that the Twins fired General Manager Terry Ryan.
Yeah, they relieved him of his duties. You're absolutely right. And, you know, that was the first series they won against Minnesota. But when you look at the Indians, look at the divisional play, they are 28-12. The only other team in the division has played that well is Kansas City, 22-13. Now, the Indians can help take care of that if they can win a series here in Kansas City, put a little damper on them. But, you know, the Indians have played much better on the road than Kansas City has. Kansas City 17-32 on the road, wow. And they've taken care of their home field just like the Indians have.
Having said that, how important or how much importance do you think Ned Yost is placing on winning this series for his ball club?
I think there's a lot of importance right there, because what happens if the Indians can take 2 out of 3 or even a sweep, then they have to start thinking about wild card. They don't think about the division as much as they can. On the other hand, Ned Yost would like to see another sweep like they did the last time the Indians came to town, because if they can do that, now they're back into play and they can change their mind thought.
It might make them think about being buyers
as
we fast approach the trading deadline. Well, you think about home run hitting teams in the American League. You think about Boston, Texas, the Yankees, the White Sox. Would it shock you if I told you the Indians have out-homered all of those teams?
It is amazing this year. Surprising power, but there's a big help right there. Mike Napoli, his signing. He and Carlos Santana with 20. Now the rookie, Tyler Naquin, he has 10. He had his 10th yesterday, and coming all within the last 102 at-bats, and Kipnis hit a bomb to left center. He has 15 on the year, so it is surprising a little bit, but their power doesn't stop there. They're third in the league in runs scored, just a tick under 5 runs per ballgame. We always felt with the pitching that the Indians had, if they could get to that 5-run mark or very close to it, they would be a very good team, and we are seeing that. And not only that, they're second in stolen bases. They're a very good base running club this year, much better than they have been in the past, and that all translates into W.
You mentioned yesterday Josh Tomlin's success when pitching after an Indians loss, very much ace-like. Well, the Indians' true ace is going tonight, Corey Kluber. How important is it for him to go out and set the tone in this series?
He has an opportunity to do something, and he hasn't started it since the All-Star break. He was the winner in the All-Star game, but he's your number one. You're coming into a very big series. It's his job to get you started off on the right foot. No reason why he can't go out and try and shut down this Kansas City offense. He's going to be matched up against Edison Volquez, and the Indians have had success against him in their career. He has 1 win against him this year, so it is up to Corey Kluber to go out and set the tempo for this series. You want to see just a good game, keep your team in it, and hope they score early for him.
Big night here in Kansas City as the series gets underway. When we come back, we'll have the latest on Yan Gomes' injury to that shoulder, and Andre Knott will go one-on-one with Mike Napoli. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Here in Kansas City as we get ready for baseball between the Indians and the Kansas City Royals. And the news of the day, let's start with the injury that occurred yesterday to Yan Gomes in Minnesota. Came on this play. He got tripped up as he went to the bag on the tag. Tweaked his knee initially. That's what he grabbed for, and then realized something's wrong with my shoulder. Turns out it was a separated shoulder dislocation. And he said after the game, he goes, man, he said, we're going to get an MRI because something's sticking out in there. It doesn't look good. And unfortunately, the news for Gomes didn't get much better. He'll be sidelined 6 to 8 weeks as we take a look at our injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. So, Rick, you're talking about roughly 2 months.
Yeah, it's sad. You know, right now when you look at it, we're almost mid-August right here, and so you don't know how long he's going to be out. So they're going to have to see if they can weather the storm. Perez got called up today, and we'll see what happens.
Time now for our Hear Right sounds of the game. Here's Andre Knott with Mike Napoli.
As you guys go through this season, how tough is it to go through something like you saw with Yan yesterday go down after everything you guys have tried to been doing to pull him to go through this?
Yeah, it's tough, man. What he's been through the whole year so far, and then to have that happen, it's not. I mean, it's just not something that you can't really explain. The feeling that everyone had. I mean, we knew he was struggling, but everyone in this clubhouse had his back. Loved the guy. He's such a great teammate, good person on and off the field. So to see something like that happen, definitely hurts. Everyone in this clubhouse.
Nice to have a guy like Berto and Jimenez. You're a former catcher. You know the importance of that position. Nice to have those guys, even though you lose Yan right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but we're lucky. We have those two guys that can still go behind the plate and be able to produce. So, yeah, I mean, it's so important to have the middle of your field. During the stretch that can get the job done. So we got two capable catchers that can go out there and control this great pitching staff and come up with big hits.
How much do you look at the standings and knowing you're coming back? Last time you guys were here, obviously, you lost 3 in a row. It's tough games. How much do you look at the standings and look at where they're at and where your guys are at right now, or is that something you don't look at all?
I mean, from day one, I'm a scoreboard watcher from day one. I mean, how can you not? If someone's saying that they don't look at it, then I don't think they're telling the truth, because how can you not look at it? You're facing guys all the time and teams you want them to lose. So coming in, I always look at the standings every day. I'll go and check, see if we went up a half game or down a half game. But yeah, it's just it's a big series. Every game is big, but coming into this place where we struggled a little bit last time, I think it's huge for us to come out and try to get this first one.
After losing that game Saturday night, after the rain delay, how big did you think it was to come out and get a run early in the game like you did yesterday with the home run? Your 20th of the season. I don't know if that's any significance for you, but how significant was it for the team to bounce right back Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to always score early, but after losing that game, to come out and score early, get JT on the mound, working his magic, especially after a loss, it was huge for us. It was definitely something we need to do, is win that series, coming into this series. So to be able to get up early, it was nice.
Well, you look over through the lineup. You look at Kip. He's close to getting to a career high in home runs. You look at a couple other guys with their home run totals. You look at Santana. Is there anything you guys have done differently, you feel, when it comes to the long ball, or just is there a mindset that's just coming with you guys?
No, not really. I mean, for me, I try to hit a homer every time. But no, I mean, I think they're maturing as players and knowing that they can, do that kind of stuff. But they're having good years, and it's something that we're going to need to continue to do to be successful.
Have to love the frankness and the honesty of Mike Napoli.
Well, you're right. I mean, you should know where you're at. You're playing in your division. These guys work so hard to turn it around and play within their division, and they deserve it, man. So you better keep your eye on what's going on around you, so you can you know what you have to do. And they will weather this storm, I think, with Yan Gomes. They'll find a way to band together and make the most out of it.
We'll be back with tonight's first pitch between the first place Cleveland Indians and the hard-charging Kansas City Royals next. The defending world champion Kansas City Royals have just taken the field here at Kauffman Stadium. And that means the Indians will be coming to bat. Let's take a look at the Tribe starting lineup under manager Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive. Carlos Santana will lead it off for the Tribe, riding a career-best 14-game hitting streak. Jason Kipnis will bat second. Francisco Lindor will bat third. Then it's Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisenhall. Juan Uribe at third base will bat seventh. Tyler Naquin hitting eighth, and Roberto Perez just called up, activated. He will bat ninth.
And our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher is going to be Edinson Volquez, making his team-leading 20th start today, his 11th career start against the Indians, and his 4th this year. He is 1-2 in his first 3 starts, but the last time, and June 13th, he was able to beat the Cleveland Indians right here. He went 7 innings, gave up just 2 hits, and did not allow a run. That's his lone win this year. He was 1-2 last year. But the Indians have a way. They feel like they can get to Volquez, and let's see if they can do that early tonight. We will set the defense behind him, and it looks like this. Gordon is in left field, Dyson in center, Orlando over in right. It'll be Cuthbert at third base, Escobar at short, Merrifield at second, Hosmer at first, and it is Perez behind the plate.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, has the plate tonight. Doug Eddings at first, Ryan Blackney at second, Corey Blazer is at third, and we are ready to go as Carlos Santana heads to home plate for Cleveland. Edinson Volquez, the Kansas City starter. He's had mixed results. At times he's been very good, but at times he's been closer to just average at 4.85 ERA.
Yeah, usually when he gets his wins, he holds the opposition to a very low batting average with runners in scoring position compared to his 8 losses.
Fastball in there for a strike. And a curveball in for a strike as Santana swings through it. Volquez will primarily use his fastball, but he's got a very good changeup and curveball to go with it. And he locked him up with a heater. Santana is erased on 3 quick pitches. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Make Volquez get in the zone. In other words, don't chase the bad balls and avoid Salvador Perez in the big spot, which means keep the guys off base in front of them. Now Jason Kipnis. And he takes the first pitch strike. Our game time temperature tonight is 90 degrees. The heat index today made it feel like it was over 100 for most of the afternoon.
This guy is out firing strikes, man. A little comeback fastball. Kipnis looking back, thinking that ball might have been a little bit inside. This is on our Nissan pitch tracker. And you know what? If he's going to be consistent and call that pitch, that could also be very good for Corey Kluber, who has that same kind of fastball that comes back to the lefties.
Yeah, he got him to chase the breaking ball in the dirt. Back-to-back Ks for Volquez.
Well, that time he started him inside, but he was going to go with the slider. And you think that ball is going to come back over the plate. So 2 really good sequences to start this game out by Edinson Volquez. 6 pitches, 6 strikes, and 2 strikeouts.
Francisco Lindor batting third. Takes a high fastball, 1-0. He has really swung the bat well against the Royals this year. You know, the Royals, when it comes to giving up home runs, they've given up plenty. Only 2 teams have allowed more as a pitching staff. And a third of the home runs they've allowed this year have come on the first 15 pitches. And there goes Lindor. Liftoff down the line. Gone.
Wow. Excuse me with that stat. Can you say it again, please?
Lindor gets him early, and the Indians are on the board after Volquez started the game with back-to-back strikeouts. The only question, would it stay fair? And it was right down the line, just inside the pole. And Lindor has his 11th home run of the season.
Well, let's look and see. I mean, he started. Well, that's a fastball right there, middle in. And I'll tell you what, Frankie didn't miss this one. He gave it a ride. It didn't hook. It stayed right down the line. So the Indians will play from in front. For Lindor, his 11th home run. Nice swing.
I'm assuming he was watching what Volquez did to Santana and Kipnis, which is try to throw inside, and he got that barrel head out early looking for that pitch, and he smoked it.
Well, that's the 121st home run given up by the Royals staff.
Yeah, and I just thought it was interesting that a third of the home runs they've allowed, better than 34%, have come in the first 15 pitches a pitcher has thrown. Now that includes the relievers.
Well,
but primarily you're talking about the starters.
Okay, they're a team that they try to be aggressive like good pitching staffs do. They try to get ahead in the zone, and guys, you know, are sitting on it ready for it. That was a pitch inside, and Lindor put a really nice swing on that baseball.
That's the 19th first inning home run allowed by the Royals this year. That's more than any other inning. Now Napoli fouls one straight back.
And the Indians have a number of first inning home runs this year as well.
Well, you know, I was thinking there was a point this year where the Indians were coming out in the first inning and just getting after it.
Right.
They've outscored the opposition 57-47 overall this year in the first inning. But if you combine the first and second innings, they've really outscored their opponents this year.
Well, and you mentioned Lindor swings it well against the Royals. It's hard to figure sometimes when you have, you know, success against a team. All you have to do is see their uniform or their logo, and it seems to kick in.
And now Napoli swats one to center field, but Gerard Dyson will make the catch, and that will end the inning. Francisco Lindor puts the Indians on the board first, and the Tribe is 41-12 when they score first this year. The Kansas City Royals starting nine under manager Ned Yost tonight. Alcides Escobar in the leadoff spot. There he is, striding toward home plate. Eric Hosmer bats second. Kendry Morales has really turned his season around, batting third. Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, and Cheslor Cuthbert in the middle. Paulo Orlando, Whit Merrifield, and Gerard Dyson batting ninth.
Our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe, Corey Kluber, making his 19th start this year. His record is 9-8. He's made 2 starts against Kansas City. One really good one, one really bad one. So we'll see what he does in this third one. They give him an early 1-0 lead.
And Alcides Escobar takes up and in, ball 1.
And as always, it always comes out to fastball command early for Kluber.
Rick, do you think there's anything to the sort of struggles that Kluber has had against Kansas City in particular in this ballpark, or is that just more coincidence than anything else?
I think more coincidence. I think if you go back and you think about his very first start came in this ballpark, he had a big 5 or 6 run first inning. In his last start here, he gave up 8 runs. That was his worst start of the year. 9 hits, 8 runs. But then again, he had almost a no-hitter going in here.
That's right. A couple years
Ryan
ago.
Rayburn spike throw. He got a no decision. Should have had a win. He was 4-0 against him one year. No, I think he's had maybe 2 bad starts against him in this ballpark that skew the numbers a little bit for him. When he's on his game, you can't hit him. And like I said, it's that fastball command. His breaking stuff is going to be there. You're catching the Royals at the right time. Moustakas is not playing. Gordon is just back in. He's not swinging so well. Kane's out of the lineup. So, I mean, you can't complain. You just got to go in there and be aggressive and go right at him. Just be careful against the 2 big boys that can really hurt you. It's a nice ballpark to pitch in. It's big, but I will say this, the ball is carrying so much better this year than it has in the past.
Boy, I looked at some numbers earlier, and it was really swung on and missed. Kluber got him to expand the strike zone, and Escobar goes down swinging, 1 away.
Get ahead and go with that bread and butter slider. Starts out as a strike, ends up as a ball, and you get the swing and miss. And that's out number 1 for Corey on the strikeout.
You looking at the same numbers I was?
Absolutely.
That was shocking to me that going into the All-Star break this year, there were more than 600 home runs. I should say there were 607 more home runs hit this year than a year ago going into the All-Star break. That's
how does that translate?
That's eye-opening.
Figure it out. I know it's been a little warmer. They had a warm winter and everything like that. Who knows? And you can get people that say, oh, they're going to line the balls tighter. And I wish someone would have an explanation for it.
Especially because we're playing in a appeal. He went around.
Yes, he did.
It's 1-1. We're playing in what I think is widely considered the pitcher's era right now.
Yes, we are.
Power arms, great bullpens.
607 more in half a year.
Half a year.
So it's hard to figure that one out.
The 1-1. I would offer you this as part explanation. And I think the Indians are an example of this. I think more players right now, and it might have something to do with the bullpens, more players are looking for pitches to hit for home runs.
Getting more aggressive in the count. Yeah. You know what? That might. I never even thought of that.
The 2-strike approach is less and less, and I think guys are just trying, hey, I'm going to try to do some damage.
Yeah, well, that's good. Get aggressive. You can see what happens. I'll buy that one. We'll go with it.
Here's the 3-1. Hosmer taking a full count. Because I hate to lend credence to the theories of, oh, the balls are wound or this or that.
Listen to this. The stat you just said, the Kansas City pitchers have given up more home runs on their first 15 pitches. That means the hitters are getting more aggressive. Yeah. And we know how many first pitch home runs have we had.
There's a line smash to center, and Naquin runs it down. 2 away.
Let's set the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Ramirez in left field. Naquin on that catch is in center. Chisenhall over and right. Uribe at third. Lindor at short. Kipnis is at second. Napoli at first. And Perez back behind the plate. Just getting called up in his first game.
And Kendry Morales coming to the plate. The last time we saw Morales, Arch, he was sliding the wrong direction, but
yeah,
I don't know what it was. Something got him going. He's been on base safely 26 of his last 27 starts.
He's turned it around. He sure has. He's an excellent low ball hitter, loves it down and in, and he's the difference. He was the man that was in the number 4 hole form all last year. Drove in a boatload of runs.
When the Indians were in the midst of rattling off a franchise best 14 straight wins, Morales won the American League Player of the Week award going into the 4th of July. Homered in 3 straight games during that week.
Well, he's too good of a hitter not to. Now, I don't know if you have nagging injuries or maybe something in his legs or his bottom half or his foundation might have been hurting him. But I remember when he was getting hits in Cleveland, he was serving them to left field, slapping them, you know, down the third base line against the shift. He's a guy that drives the ball. That's one he usually swings at, so maybe that's one thing right there. He's taking that pitch down and in. He was swinging at that a lot.
Well, it's 3-1 now. And it's upstairs, ball 4. And that'll bring up Salvador Perez. And a Kansas City All-Star catcher. He had a big All-Star game as well as his teammate Eric Hosmer. It was Hosmer, though, who took home the MVP honors. But Perez was the MVP of the World Series last year. I don't think he'd trade. Takes a strike over the outside edge. Perez had a 6-game hitting streak, but it was snapped with an 0 for 4 yesterday. He's an aggressive hitter, though, not a guy who will necessarily look for a walk. On Saturday, he walked twice. It was the 5th game in his career in which he's had 2 walks.
That's, you know, when he first came up, he swung at everything.
He's become a little more disciplined. He used to chase that breaking ball away.
Yeah.
It was like automatic.
But you learn pitchers, you learn counts, you learn yourself. That's a perfect pitch. You don't want to swing at that pitch there. You know, so now he's down, but he got to look at it. It's in the strike zone. See if he tries to expand it, start a slider where that pitch ended and move it into the left-handed batter's box.
Perez got a piece of that.
But I mean, he's really a good hitter, a good player overall behind the dish. One of the best catchers in the game, throwing runners out at 50%.
He's homered in each of his last 2 games against the Tribe.
Oh, he was as hot as you could get the last time we came here. In that 3 games they swept us. Yes, he did.
Chased one up high, and Kluber gets the strikeout to end the inning. We've played one in Kansas City, and the Indians lead it 1-0.
is live with MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Jose Ramirez leads off inning number 2 for the Tribe and takes the first pitch strike.
Another nice crowd here tonight.
Fouled out of play. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe we'd see fewer people this being on a weeknight.
Yeah, no siree, man. They're right up to the top.
Now they waited a long time. Not as long as Cleveland fans, but they waited a long time for at least this ball club to be back in contention. Back-to-back World Series appearances with the capturing of the crown last fall has definitely brought out the crowds here in KC. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. In the division, the Indians since June the 1st. This is the way the central standings look. Now remember, Kansas City came to Cleveland on June the 1st in first place. And since that series began on June the 2nd, Kansas City has gone 16-23, and the Indians have gone in the opposite direction, catapulting themselves to the top of the standings.
I will say this too about the Royals. And same thing for the Indians. Both these teams are good second half ball clubs.
Yeah.
The Royals, one of the better ones over the last 3 years when they started to make their run, and you know, with Tito as the manager, they've been good every year with him in the second half.
That's another one of those statistical elements that I'd love to see if there's any sort of reasoning, any sound reasoning as to why these two teams in particular have been better. Because again, you know, we don't follow Kansas City every day. From our perspective watching the Indians, they've gotten off the poor starts, and it's almost as if, hey, we've got nothing to lose, and they play free and easy, and they just play better.
You have to work your way back into it.
Popped up on the infield here. Merrifield will make the catch. Hopefully the Indians just continue to feed off the momentum and the good feeling, the vibe that they've got rolling right now. That vibe took a little bit of a hit yesterday when they lost to Yan Gomes to an injury that's going to sideline him 6 to 8 weeks, the shoulder injury in Minnesota. But as Mike Napoli said, you know, being a former catcher himself, it's a little bit of a luxury to have not only Chris Gimenez, but be able to call up a Roberto Perez who has experience. It's not his first rodeo.
Well, if Perez didn't get hurt in Philadelphia, Chris Gimenez wouldn't even be around.
Yep. Juan Uribe with 2 down to the bases empty. And the Volquez 0-1 pitch is bounced foul. Speaking of the American League Central Division, the Indians took 2 out of 3 from the Twins yesterday in Minnesota. And Minnesota's season has gone like the SS Minnow.
Yes.
And today they fired their longtime general manager Terry Ryan, which was a real surprise because it's one of those guys. He's been around so long. He's meant so much to that organization.
Now, do you think they felt they had to do something now and for the future? Hey, we got to at least let these players know here. We got to turn it around. There's got to be something new. Because it's sort of a small market team. And when you look at the money they have on the DL, that doesn't look good there either.
Volquez cruises through the second. The Indians go 1-2-3. They lead it 1-0. Of the second inning. Alex Gordon, Cheslor Cuthbert, Paulo Orlando will bat for the Royals. Gordon is batting just .207. He missed 28 games due to a fractured right wrist. And it's one more example. We were talking about it, I think, yesterday or the day before in Minnesota. The difficulties that players face when coming back. We were talking about Abraham Almonte missing the first 80 games of the season and then trying to jump right back in. Talking about Michael Brantley, if he can make it back, how difficult it might be for him having missed as much time as he has. Well, Gordon's another example. He's only missed 28 games.
Right. You know, I was thinking about that, and I did want to talk about that tonight because we talked about it yesterday. Almonte coming back for the Indians. And when you go around baseball and you look at guys that have missed significant amount of time, you know, and then have to come back in. And this is a veteran. This is a guy they can plug in. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter how good you are. It takes a while for you to get back into playing shape. These guys are so far ahead of you when you come back, and then you put more stress on yourself trying to play a little bit more. And this guy's been in the everyday lineup for a number of years. So he has to relax. You have to do your work. You have to see pitches. And you can see there it is.
Kluber takes care of him and strikes him out. And it probably doesn't help that he's coming back to a situation.
Right.
And he's human. He knows how much his team needs him.
Exactly.
They're fighting from behind. They're trying to make up ground.
Yeah, you put a little more pressure on yourself.
Cheslor Cuthbert, who has filled in admirably at third base for the injured Mike Moustakas.
He really has. The first time, you know, when he filled in against us, we were amazed at the defense that he threw. Remember the play he made at Cleveland?
Off the end of the bat, sinking in a hurry, and it's going to drop. Really nothing anybody could do there. Hit it right off the end, and it was dying immediately.
Well, that's a byproduct of this outfield. We told you. Remember the last time we came here, the outfielders had difficulty because they play deeper in this ballpark. That's one that was going to fall in anyway. There's nothing you can do. You can see Naquin got a good jump. He was coming in. It gets in front of Chisenhall. But they've got to communicate out there because there's more space out in this outfield than anywhere, I think, in the American League. And it's a tough outfield to play.
Naquin shortens up a bit in center. It's amazing the drastic difference in the outfield right now. Look how far out Ramirez is playing in left. Naquin shortened up, and so is Chisenhall in right field.
Yes. I was watching the alignment yesterday when we were in Minnesota, and the ball was carrying because the wind was pretty, you know, generous yesterday as far as the ball carrying out, and he was still playing shallow out there, which I don't mind.
Obviously, the Indians don't feel like he's driving the ball to the opposite field. If anything, he may get jammed and bloop one the other way.
Look, I always felt this way when I played center field. If you're playing in a defensive position and you're in, and their pitcher makes his pitch that he's supposed to make, you don't have to worry about the ball getting hit over your head. When he makes a mistake, you know, the hitters will let you know that you didn't make a good pitch, and that's when you may have to go to the wall and retrieve one. But more times than not, if he makes his pitch, you'll be in the right spot.
Lindor picks it on the short hop. Kipnis steps on the bag, throws to first for the inning-ending double play. Nicely turned by the Tribe's Keystone combo. And through two, Cleveland leads it 1-0. enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. We go to the third inning with the Indians on top 1-0. And Tyler Naquin will lead it off. Then it's Roberto Perez. And that'll take us back to the top of the order. Naquin looks at a ball inside.
Well, from June 1st, Naquin's been outstanding. His return, getting called back up from the minors, 33 for 106. That's a .311 average, but also 10 home runs and 106 at-bats.
Yeah, all 10 of his homers this year have come in his last 33 games.
You know, and you can see he's had a nice season so far against Kansas City. 3 of his 7 hits have left the yard.
And he golfs this one into right field for a base hit. And the Indians leadoff man aboard to start inning number 3.
Really nice swing down in his wheelhouse. Tyler likes the ball down, as most left-handers do. Look at him just pick that up and hits a vicious line drive. I'm really amazed, and we talk about it, and other people we see, when you see a ball down, how the ball jumps off his bat. I mean, he's got quick wrists and very strong.
And he seems to get the barrel to it when he goes down.
He sure does. I mean, you get up next to him, he's not all that big, but I'll tell you, he generates tremendous bat speed down in the zone.
Well, here's Roberto Perez. Squaring the bunt, takes low, ball 1. Perez fractured his thumb when the Indians were in Philadelphia, which seems like another season ago, doesn't it?
Well, it does, because I think it happened in April. I mean, that's when we were
there April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. And that injury occurred on April the 30th. He had surgery. He had only appeared in 4 games up to that point. Takes down low. So he's been out a long time. One thing about Roberto Perez, for a guy that doesn't play a lot, I mean, he did play every day last year while Yan Gomes was out.
Right.
But boy, he's got a very patient approach. I mean, this year in the brief games that he played, what did I say, 4 games? He was 0 for 8, but he had 6 walks. I mean, you don't have a hit, but your on base percentage is .400. Well, that's not too shabby.
He's remaining patient too. I mean, look, anything he can give you from the bat is a plus.
Boy, that's got to be frustrating for the
4
Royals.
Straight pitches.
To watch Volquez walk the number 9 hitter on 4 pitches when he was trying to maybe bunt.
He was on that first pitch. So, okay. How about that? He walks again.
Kia in the driver's seat. Carlos Santana's career high 14-game hitting streak. And here at Kauffman Stadium, 13 home runs with 46 RBIs. Well, let's see if Santana can do some damage right here with 2 on and nobody out. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
Santana's seen 4 pitches, all strikes.
Oh, 0-2 the count.
Tell you what, so far, same sequence in both at bats. There comes a breaking ball down and in. Swings over the top of. And now Volquez has a chance to go for the punch out here. He locked him up with a fastball in his first at bat. He could go change up away.
Down low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's the benefit of having the big guy behind the plate, Perez. Boy, he's like a backstop. It's hard to throw one past him when he's behind the plate. That big body, he smothers it well. And you've got to be careful on the bases with him there. He will throw behind you. Like Perez at first base, you have to be careful because they will put a play on. And I'm sure Sandy Alomar knows that very well.
Outside, he missed, and now the count goes to 2-2. Now you might think going from 1-2 to 2-2 greatly improves your chances as a hitter. Not necessarily the case this year against Volquez. On a 1-2 count this year, batters are hitting .217 against him. When the count goes to 2-2, the average dips down to just .212.
Huh. Well, I know one thing. He's a veteran that never gives in. He's not afraid to go to 3-2, and he's not afraid to, get you to swing at his pitch on 3-2.
Two on, nobody out, and the 2-2 pitch. And he fouls it off. This is kind of interesting, Arch. I mean, when you talk about a guy that gets you to a 2-2 count, what you think your chances are after a 2-2 count. So whatever happens after the count goes to 2-2, the average for the hitters this year is just $186 against him.
Huh.
And another foul out of play by Santana. Now the Indians got a 2-out solo home run from Francisco Lindor in the first. That's been the game's only run. But the Indians might have something going here in the third as Santana awaits a 2-2 pitch. Pops one up left field. Gordon will make the catch, and the runners have to hold. Down to Andre Knott.
Quick question for you guys. As you guys are talking about Perez behind the plate and how big he is and how great a backstop he is, how much does he remind you of Sandy Alomar? I know their bodies are a little bit different, but Sandy was a big catcher as well.
That is true. Sandy was tall. They're all about 6'4", 6'5", and Sandy would do a great job. Sandy was a good catcher. He was great at blocking as well. This guy, he's been, you know what? He's one of the better ones I've seen in a long, long time. And there's other big catchers that I can remember. Carlton Fisk, Bill Freehand. I mean, I'm going back where some people don't even know.
Benito
who I'm
Santiago was a
about.
pretty big dude.
Yeah. I mean, but there were some tall catchers. But you're right. The body part, or the build, much different.
Well, the 0-1 missed outside. Kipnis lifts one in the air, shallow left. Gordon will make the play, and after the first two reached, back-to-back pop-ups to left field.
Well, fans can enjoy Sugardale Dollar Dogs post-game fireworks presented by Blaster Corporation. That'll take place Friday, July 29th. The Tribe will host the Oakland A's. Plus, you can get Budweiser cans out in the district for $2 between 5 and 7. 10,000 fans will get an ugly Christmas T-shirt. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Well, what do you suppose Salvador Perez went out to the mound and talked to Volquez about with Lindor coming to the plate here?
Well, don't let up and go right after him. Don't give in to him, and we'll go a different route. He hit that first fastball out of the ballpark. Keep it in play. Yep, breaking ball. You watch that fastball inside that he turned on. It was just reaction, and it was a nice, quick swing. So, and I think, I'm not sure what the count was there. Did he have a strike on him? But I think he tried to sneak one by him inside. He wasn't going to let him because he saw what he did to the first two hitters, being aggressive. So there was a slider away.
It was the first or second pitch, because I think he'd only thrown 7 pitches to that point, and he struck out the first two hitters.
Then he had one. It was a 1-1 count. And he made easy work out of it after he got the first two guys on.
So Volquez works out of trouble. It remains Cleveland 1, Kansas City 0.
Just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to the expanded Kids Clubhouse. Just go to Kids Tickets. They're only available at Indians.com/kids tickets.
Bottom of the third here in Kansas City, and Whit Merrifield will lead off for the Royals. Another guy that's done a really nice job for Kansas City. Takes a look at the ball down low.
Yeah, he was up in that leadoff spot the last time we came here and on a nice roll because he had only been called up for a couple of weeks. You see now he's down to hitting 8th, but he's still hitting .284.
But I mean, he did such a nice job. They finally said, we're done with Omar Infante and just let him go. Designated him for assignment.
Yeah, one of their own. They call up, and he forced his way into the lineup is what he did. He has 2 home runs, and I remember the one here that came against the Indians.
Uribe with a bare hand grab and a throw to get him one away.
Nice play. You know, a lot of times you look down there and you don't know if Uribe is going to get to this ball. Anything he gets to, he makes. Barehanded or not. He gets it. He's got a very accurate arm. So that's a nice play to keep that leadoff man off first base.
Good indication that that index finger that when he got hit by the pitch is completely healed up now.
Yeah, much better.
So 1 on 1 out for Gerard Dyson, and that brings Uribe in on the grass at third base. This guy lightning quick.
Well, a guy that is in center field now that Lorenzo Cain is out, and there's talk. Cain was out running the bases earlier today before batting practice and everything like that.
He jolts that one over the head of everybody. That's at least a triple. And Lonnie makes a good throw to the cutoff man, and Dyson is in the third with only his second triple of the year.
Well, here's what we were talking about in the first inning. You watch the hitters, they'll let you know. He made a mistake, and Dyson socked this ball to deep right center field. They were playing him in. So for this guy, it's a triple. And this is a good triples ballpark. So he's off and running. So that's a big play for Kansas City. A one-out triple now gives them an opportunity, with Escobar coming to the plate, to tie the game.
And really, the way he hit that ball and where he hit it, it wouldn't have mattered if they were playing deep.
Yeah, that's true.
So Alcides Escobar, the batter. The Indians will concede that run on a ground ball up the middle. The corner infielders will try to hold Dyson at third. And Corey Kluber goes right at Escobar for strike one. Indians lead it 1-0. But the Royals with a threat now. And Escobar maybe a bit overly aggressive, and Kluber taking advantage of that. Swung out and missed. He struck him out. And Perez with a great job to hang on.
Yeah, he caught that thing in the air. That's fourth strikeout. And I'll tell you what, he went outside. This was outside by a foot. Here's our Circle K strikeout. Look at that. That was in the left-handed batter's box. He was trying to throw that ball down the first baseline as bad as anything. He's trying to get some help, saying it went in the dirt. It did not. That was in the glove of Perez. So held on to that one and get the second out.
But he's not out of the woods yet, and that's probably what Roberto Perez went out to talk to him about with Hosmer coming up here. He hit a vicious line drive his first time up to center field. It was caught by Naquin. Again, when you look at the Indians' outfield alignment, Jose Ramirez playing the off field, but playing very deep.
Yeah, no kidding. And I know Hosmer, he can drive the ball. He hits it. He's got good power to all parts of the ballpark. Yeah, but this is the guy you're going to be careful with here.
Count 2-0 with Kendry Morales, the switch hitter, on deck.
Nice pitch. Hosmer on the year, a .265 hitter with a homer and 5 ribbies against the Indians. There's that comeback fastball right there on a 2-0 count.
That time he pushed him back with a fastball, and it's 3-1. Ball 4, he walked
it. There you go. That's the pitching report right there. Don't let him go in and beat you.
Good on to Andre.
For Corey Kluber, this is the first time since May 23rd of last year that his catcher is not Yan Gomes. That was 40 straight starts that he went without him. Now, Roberto Perez knew that stat. And he says the first thing he did when he came in the clubhouse today is he went up to Kluber and they talked pitching and how he's pitched. Now, for Perez, he goes, I've watched every game. He goes, I've paid attention from Arizona. I've done everything I can. But without having a conversation about what's working for a pitcher, I don't know what works for them when it works. So he said he tried to talk to him as much as he could today to get in that right place with Corey Kluber.
Yeah, and then it's all a matter of adjustments when the game starts, because you see what's working and, you know, what feel he has for what pitches, what hitters are up. He's going to be fine. And you know what? The ultimate decision comes with the man throwing the baseball anyway.
In the dirt. Did it hit him? I guess it did. Got Morales on the foot, and the bases are loaded.
Oh boy. I was wondering why he wasn't getting on the baseball, but he realized that it hit him on the top of the foot. Let's see. He didn't move. Watch. He couldn't even get out. Hit him right on the foot.
Must have skipped right off the top of the shoe. And now you've got to deal with big Salvador Perez in a bases loaded 2-out situation. And that brings this sellout crowd up to its feet. Only the 7th batter Kluber has faced this year with the bases loaded. And the opposition to this point, 1 for 6 against him with 3 strikeouts. Broke his bat.
Stay fair.
And it's foul. 1-1. Kluber got the win in the American League All-Star game. And now facing the American League's All-Star catcher, Salvador Perez.
Yeah, he was catching Kluber in the All-Star game. You would think that would give him a little better idea of what his stuff does. You're back receiving it.
Slow chopper. Going to be a tough play. Uribe barehand grab. Oh, got him. Oh, Juan Uribe with his second barehand grab and throw of the inning. And the Royals leave them loaded. After 3, it's still Cleveland 1, Kansas City 0. Lead off the 4th inning for Cleveland. The Indians leading it 1-0 on a solo homer by Francisco Lindor in the 1st. Napoli flied out to center. His only time up. Smoke to third, and he caught it on a line drive. Cuthbert with a backhanded diving catch for out number 1.
Well, it was hit so hard he didn't have time to take a step. He just goes the other way on the backhand side, and he's going to lean over and catch that ball before it hits the ground. Did not have time to take a step. So Napoli hits it hard. It goes for an out.
And up comes Jose Ramirez. Couple of curveballs to start. 1 hit, 1 missed.
Yeah, 1 to get over for a strike, 1 to hope to get the hitter to swing at and chase it.
It's 3-1. Interesting when you look at Volquez and how he starts a game and as he settles in. Well, when he gets to this point in the game, when he gets over that 50 pitch mark, the batting average for the opposition really starts to jump. Almost 300. And then you get over 60 pitches, and the batting average is still right there, right around the 300 mark. So a 1-out walk for Ramirez will bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. The AT&T high-speed replay. Let's look at how Kluber pitched Perez.
Started him off slider away and ran that fastball in on his fist and gets him to shatter his bat and then stayed in there. I like it, and they're elevating the ball on Perez. And Uribe got the first out like that and got the 3rd out of the inning like that.
And now Lonnie Chisenhall with 1 on and 1 out popped up on the infield, his only time up. Good breaking ball, and it's 0-2. Hits are even at 2 apiece, but one of the Indians' hits, the one by Lindor, landed in the seats down the right field line for the game's only run. The other hit was a leadoff single by Tyler Naquin in the 3rd. Up tall. Perez thought about a snap throw to first, but couldn't get a grip.
He will definitely throw behind you. Reminds me a lot of Pudge Rodriguez, where, you know, when you have a good arm, you want to show it off. And he does. You just have to make sure when you take your secondary lead, you start breaking back quickly after the ball passes the hitter.
You know, Andre was talking before about Salvador Perez and being a big guy in the comparison to Sandy Alomar. The one thing I look at with Perez, his lower half from the waist down, he's built like an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch. Ramirez got a great jump, and Lonnie fouls it back. Oh man, he might have gone face first into second base. He never looked back.
Well, let's see. He's going in. He doesn't realize Chisenhall It's a late slide. He never got his hands out in front of him.
Landing gear never deployed.
No, it did not. That was the javelin throw right there. He went right down into the ground.
I'm sure Eric Hosmer.
Oh, they're talking
to tell him.
They're saying nice slide. Look at it. He's got dirt all the way up around his neck.
Well, let's try this again. Lonnie lifts it high and fouled on the right side, out of play. Kisnall trying to bloop one into center, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Ramirez, what a great jump. He'll go all the way to third.
That's good base running right there. He read it beautifully. He knew it was going to drop. That's the space in the outfield. Chisenhall jammed on the pitch, but he got enough of it to fight it off. And that's just a nice read from being on the field by Ramirez. He had to make up for that slide at second. Watch him. He knows it's jammed. There he goes. Head down. I'm getting to third base. He realized that Dyson wasn't going to get there. Gordon didn't have a chance. So now runners at the corners and a chance to add. Now Perez wants to go out and talk to Volquez. They know how important all these runs are. You don't want to fall behind by too many. He's looking for a ground ball double play here. Be very surprised if he even sees a fastball in the area to hit.
Oh, he got one right down the middle. And Uribe fouled it back.
Well, that's the one you wanted.
Ramirez at third. The infield, as Rick told you, double play depth. And he pops this one back out of play. 0-2. Volquez hasn't messed around. He's gone right at him with a couple of fastballs.
You know what he is? He's elevating that fastball enough to where it's tough for Uribe to get the barrel head of the bat out front. But he's got a couple of ways to go now. He jumped out early. 0-2.
That's clobbered foul on the breaking ball, and he got away with one.
Well, he left one up, and that's why he's out in front of it, because he fouled off the two first pitches that were fastballs up. He was getting ready for another one and caught the slider and just a little too far out in front. He probably wants to bounce that slider or get one down in the zone. High fastball. You notice that's how big pressure. You notice when he gives the target, he still stays in his squat.
Yeah, he doesn't have to stand
Other
up.
catchers give you the old squat. They got to stand up a little bit, get a step ladder.
Now he wants to throw one down. And Uribe slowly chops it to third. This will get the run home, and the Indians increase their lead to 2-0 on Uribe's 23rd RBI of the year.
You know, it's funny. He really made a good pitch there. Too good of a pitch because Uribe didn't hit it hard enough to turn a double play. Cuthbert's only play was first base. So Uribe gets the RBI, the good hustle, and the walk to Ramirez. There it is. He pretty much the only thing he could do is hit that pitch on the ground. He just topped it and didn't hit it hard enough, so they had to go to first base.
So Chisenhall is in scoring position with 2 down for Tyler Naquin, who singled to right his first time up. Yeah, he chased a breaking ball in the dirt. Naquin is now hit in 3 straight games. He is the top American League hitter among rookies in batting average. Foul right back. Cleveland has won 6 out of 10 on the year against Kansas City. And they began the night with a 6.5 lead over Detroit. And then Kansas City 8 games back in 3rd place. Naquin with a hard ground ball to second. Merrifield has it, and the inning is over. But the Indians chalk up another run. Middle of the 4th, they lead it now 2-0. Coverage of baseball. Michael Fulmer went 8 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. Got a no decision as the Tigers would win in a walk-off fashion.
This guy's been pretty impressive for the Tigers.
Got a 2.13 ERA on the year, and 9 wins, leads all rookies in the American League. He's got a pretty good shot at Rookie of the Year honors, I would say. Dae-Ho Lee of Seattle's had a really good year. Tyler Naquin. There are definitely some candidates. Nomar Mazara of Texas also having a very good rookie campaign. Alex Gordon fouls one off, and the count quickly 0-2. Gordon struck out his first time up. Swung on and missed. Gordon strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 5th K for Kluber. And we've got 1 down here in the 4th. Our great clip of the game from yesterday in Minneapolis. Josh Tomlin with the big hook. That was a really good pitch for him.
Yes, it certainly was.
He said he didn't have as good command early, but he was able to settle in.
Well, you know what?
The offense.
Anytime you get him a couple of runs early, he has a way to find it. But, you know, not having command for him, what's he have? Maybe he falls behind one hitter. He always throws strikes. But, I mean, maybe not exactly where he wants to. Made one fastball in and got hit out of the ballpark. Other than that, he was his typical self.
I thought it was really interesting if you watched Andre Knott's interview before the ball game with Mike Napoli, and he mentioned he just kind of had a twinkle in his eye and a big smile when he said when JT's out there doing his thing.
Yeah,
you can tell that
they love playing behind him.
Yeah, they really do.
Why wouldn't you? Anybody that's out there, you throw strikes, you let them put it in play.
To right field, Lonnie's got to race back. It's way over his head. Cuthbert around second, on his way to third. The throw by Kipnis, and it is got him! He is out at third for the second out of the inning.
2 good throws, baby. 2 good throws. He got back there. It was hit over his head. They're looking to see if they were close. They're going to hold on and maybe take a replay. Let's take a look at it. He was playing shallow. So to me, that's another bad pitch by Kluber. But he gets it into Kipnis right there in his throwing lane. Boom, he got him. It's going to be really close. It looked like he tagged him at the hip. It's going to be close, but he is called out. So they want to check it. They want to review it. It is awfully close. So will they be able to see enough evidence to overturn it? But the relay was as good as you can get in a ballpark this size. A great throw by Chisenhall to Kipnis right in line. He turned and made a beautiful throw to third base, and Uribe made the tag. So it'll be interesting. Of course, all the umpires in the seats here, about the 35,000 of them, think he's safe. They showed it up on the scoreboard, but they'll have to get a few looks at it. It's going to be close.
It's all going to depend on when does the tag actually become a tag. Right there? I don't know. I don't know when he actually tagged him. I don't know if there's a better angle that they'll have a different view of this.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. See, it's going to be tough to see no matter what angle that week.
Yeah, you don't see where the tag was actually applied. And that's what makes this really hard to tell.
Well, they're getting ready to make the call.
Crew chief is the home plate umpire, Jeff Nelson, and the call stands.
Great relay. It's a double. And then Chisenhall will get the assist along with Kipnis, and the call stands.
So 2 down for Paulo Orlando. It was 2 really, as you said, it takes 2 good throws to get you to, and they made 2 really good ones.
It always takes 2 good ones, but in a setting like this, the biggest outfield out there, it takes 2 really good ones, and they had it. 2 great throws. So that's a nice big difference in this ball game. You go to 2 outs and now nobody on instead of a 1-out man on third base.
Fouled right back by Orlando. Strike 3 called. The inning is over. Kluber with a half dozen Ks. And after 4 innings, the Indians lead it 1-0 thanks to a terrific job by the Indians defense here in the 4th. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. The Indians lead it 2-0 as we roll on to the 5th here in Kansas City. Roberto Perez will lead it off. Drew a walk on 4 pitches his first time up.
Well, and has yet to throw him a strike yet.
Checked. I don't think that was a strike.
No, it wasn't. That would have been an excuse me. He just checked his swing and it went off his bat.
That's low. And it's 2-1. How about that? He has not thrown him a strike yet tonight. If it wouldn't have been for the check swing by Roberto Perez, he would have had a second 4-pitch walk. Hits his hard to third. Cuthbert cuts it off. And he's able to throw him out 1 down. The big Velasano charitable race is coming up soon. All the proceeds benefit cancer research. The first 50 people to sign up will be able to ride on the Indians Velasano team. You'll get a free registration, free bike jersey. Visit velasano.org and register today. You can ride 50 miles with Sandy Alomar if you're hardcore, or you can just ride as long as you like. It's all for charity, and it's all for a great cause and a very good time. One and one to count.
You know, when Volquez has been on the mound this year, the Royals have not been very supportive of him. They have scored 2 or fewer runs in 7 of his last 9 starts. And his run support on the year is at 3.72, which is the 7th lowest among American League starters.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Last year, a different year. They scored him over 5 runs a game, and he was 13-9. It certainly makes a difference on the days you pitch, and that offense is friendly.
Down and in. Full count. And the payoff pitch is pulled foul. Now the payoff pitch. And it's outside, ball 4. That is the 3rd walk issued by Volquez here tonight. And a 1-out base runner for Jason Kipnis.
Well, the Tribe back home on July 27th to host Bryce Harper and the National League East leading Washington Nationals. 10,000 fans will receive a Indians Tumbler Cup. That's courtesy of University Hospitals. Visit Indians.com for your tickets. 12:10 start in that ball game.
First pitch strike to Jason Kipnis. There is no action currently in the Kansas City bullpen, but on the year, when Volquez gets over 75 pitches, which is where he's at right now, the batting average against him goes up to 365.
Wow.
With 6 doubles. And Kipnis bounces one into a routine double play ball as the Royals get out of the inning. Taylor made, middle of the 5th, 2-0 Cleveland.
For the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards, and today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Tito. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
For Kansas City here in the home half of the 5th, Whit Merrifield will lead it off. Fouled right back. For Ned Yost, the risk of challenging that play in the 4th inning, especially when you're behind in the ball game, means he's at the mercy of the umpires now. Because you get one challenge, if you're right, you get to keep it. If you lose, you're done.
I certainly think it was the right time to take a chance right there on that challenge. I know it was close and it was bang bang, but
well, if you get it overturned, it changes the inning big time.
Exactly. To me, that was well worth it.
Out of play on the right side, though Corey Kluber did pitch out of the exact same scenario the inning before. It was a 1-out triple by Gerard Dyson, and the Royals failed to get him home.
Right.
in the air.
Oh, that's going to play.
First base, Mike Napoli straddling the line.
Well, Corey Kluber tonight, good slider. He has 6 strikeouts, and that's an elevated fastball. Nice pitch there. Had one running away to Gordon as well, and then the old reliable slider. That was with the man on third, and less than 2 outs gets Gordon on the slider, and there's a painted fastball away. And again, in command. Giving up 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks for Kluber.
But he's also working with not much of a cushion, although the Indians have a 2-0 lead. But it's nothing new for Corey Kluber.
No, for both these pitchers, because I gave you with Volquez 7 out of the last 9 starts, 2 or less runs. I mean, you get into it and you just keep your team in a game and you continue to make pitches.
Lindor knew he had to hurry to get the speedy Dyson. 2 down. Top of the order, Alcides Escobar 0 for 2, has struck out twice tonight. And it sounded like he broke his bat, but he muscles it through, and the Royals have a 2-out base runner in the 5th.
Well, Escobar wasn't going to spot Kluber anything in this at bat. The last time he had a man on third, less than 2 outs, he started him off fastball, he took it. This one runs inside. It's elevated, though, so it enables him to just hit it and get it into the outfield. So he was going to jump on the first pitch anyway. He gets the 4th hit.
Smashed into right field. Chisenhall cuts it off, makes a strong throw to second, and that'll keep Escobar from getting to third base.
Well, you can see their philosophy now. Let's go. I'm getting after it. First pitch, cutter on the inside part of the plate. Too good of a pitch. That was on the plate. And Hosmer smokes it. That's where you see where Escobar had to wait and let that ball go by. That's why he didn't go to third base. It was hit very hard. It got to Chisenhall early, and they get it in. So back-to-back singles now with 2 outs. Kluber going to try and take this crowd out of it one more time.
Kendry Morales has walked, and he was hit by a pitch. And Morales takes a strike. Well, it didn't take long for the Tigers to beat Minnesota tonight. 2 hours and 26 minutes. It was a 1-0 game.
Oh, wow.
Justin Upton hit a solo homer in the 2nd inning, the only run of the contest. Each team had 3 hits, but the Tigers win it 1-0.
All right. I think that was Upton's 200th home run. There's the pitch he'll chase. Down and in. He likes it down. He wants to go after and get it, but he pulled the string a little more on that one, and that one bounced. He laid off the first one. You could see him shaking his head after that swing. No, don't swing at that.
Corey Kluber saying, yeah, keep swinging at it.
Please. It's easy to tell yourself to do something. See if they do try it again. Oh.
Off of his foot.
Boy, we heard a thud. His feet are getting beat up tonight. If that was on the front one, because he was hit with a pitch on his back foot before. So he's got taken one off the top of both feet.
Yeah.
You're going to see him sitting in the clubhouse with both feet and buckets of ice. Right off the top. And these shoes they wear now, they're so light. They don't have any protection, really. I mean, he does have that pad up there, but that's more for the shin.
Yeah.
You know,
there's nothing on the top of that
nothing
foot.
on the top of the foot right there. So both of his he'll be walking out with sandals tonight.
Morales needs another moment.
Yeah, to get a little feeling back in there. Hey, if you want me to run, I got to feel my foot. So now he's down on the count 0-2.
Did he go?
Yes,
he did,
he
says the
did.
home plate umpire Jeff Nelson.
Excellent
the
pitch.
Inning is over. Kluber has struck out 7. The Royals have stranded 6 on the night. Francisco Lindor will lead off the 6th when we come on back. National champion. See the players, the course, in major championship history at the U.S. Senior Open, coming to Scioto Country Club in Columbus, August the 8th. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to 2016USSeniorOpen.com. Francisco Lindor socked a solo home run with 2 outs in the first inning to give the Indians a 1-0 lead. Funny how in baseball you think about momentum, right? And Volquez came out and struck out the first 2 Indians hitters to start this game, and he did it quickly. And then Lindor hits a home run. Pitch to pitch, you just never know in this game. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you just never know that first time through the lineup. You can go out there and punch out the first 5 or 6 guys, and the next thing you know, all of a sudden you lose it.
Well, Volquez has not lost it at any point here tonight. The Indians got him home run by Lindor in the first inning. And the only other run came in the 4th on an RBI ground out by Juan Uribe that followed a walk and a base hit by Lonnie Chisenhall.
Right. I mean, he's really pitched very well. He's Max Kluber pitch for pitch, except he's down 2-0. He's only given up 3 hits.
Our in-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Now Mike Napoli. A little high, ball 1. Napoli flied to center in the first and hit a bullet to third that was caught by Cuthbert in the 4th inning. Volquez certainly hasn't lost anything in terms of velocity as he closes in on 90 pitches here tonight.
Well, not one you want as a hitter right there on a 2-0 count. Napoli sort of looking down at the ground. Don't think he agreed with that call. That one was away. It was a fastball, and you can see why. That looked like it was a little bit outside.
That one socked a long way, but just foul.
That's outside the ballpark, except foul.
Ooh.
He left this changeup in. Boy, and that's danger zone.
He took a little page out of Adrian Beltre's book there. He went down to the back knee.
Yeah, he wanted to try and steer it fair.
And the 2-2. I loved it though. His candid answer to Andre when Andre asked him before the ball game was, I try to hit a home run every time I'm up there.
And you know what? It shows. He sure does. But the thing he's done this year, when you get guys in scoring position and things, he'll make adjustments and shorten his swing or change it to try and put it in play. Like that. Right there. Absolutely. With 2 strikes. That's a good job.
Dyson cuts it off, but Napoli will stroll into second base with a 1-out double.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Right on key. Now ends up a little slider away, and you see him cut off that follow through where he didn't pull off of it. That pitch was a good pitch by Volquez. It was down and away, but he just stayed on it. Look he can't believe it. You tip your cap to the hitter right there. That was a nice job of putting it in play.
Let's go down to Andre real quick.
You know, the thing about that interview with Knapp, and he's very honest, obviously, about hitting home runs and everything else, but the reason he's here is because of the pitching staff. You know, you talked about his eyes gleaming when you bring up Tomlin. He's like that about all our starters, and he tells the guys, get a lead early, let these guys settle in.
Ramirez shoots one to left field. Gordon makes the catch, and Napoli has to hold at second, 2 down. Two down, and Lonnie Chisenhall will be the batter. Lonnie takes downstairs. You know, I often wonder when a veteran player, especially one that has the credentials like a Mike Napoli, comes to a new team. A team like Cleveland, it hasn't won in a long time, and you know they were in the playoffs a few years ago, but it was one and done, quickly out. And you've got these young players, and he's looking around the room. He knows what a championship team looks like, probably knows what it feels like, and he's looking around the room. And I'm wondering at what point does he feel like, you know, this team's got a chance. This team's not just hoping or wishing. This team can do it.
Well, he made one comment that I heard out of that interview from Andre, and it was like we all have each other's backs, and it's a close-knit group of guys, and he leads by example. He's not a vocal guy. You know, he doesn't complain. He doesn't do anything. He just goes out and plays the game the way it's supposed to be done. He fits in, and he's fit in every place he's been.
Luke Hochevar is warming in the Kansas City bullpen. Edinson Volquez 1 strike from getting out of the inning as Chisenhall takes aim. And he strikes him out. That'll end the inning. Middle of the 6th. Cleveland 2, KC nothing. right back at it tomorrow night when All-Star Danny Salazar goes to the hill for the Indians against Brian Flynn. Alan Jensen will begin our coverage with Indians live from Kauffman Stadium, 7:30. First pitch at 8 right here on your home for Indians baseball. Sports Time, Ohio. Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, and Cheslor Cuthbert for KC here in the 6th inning. Jam job, but because he's playing shallow, Lonnie Chisnall has an easy play for out number 1.
Well, it was really a good pitch to jam him. He's pitched him upstairs tonight. If you watch Kluber, he stayed inside. He's elevated here. There's a slider going down and away. One time you get that swing. There's a fastball up. There it was to Perez's last at bat, and then there's a slider away again. That came with a man on third and 1 out. Fastball away, paints it.
Really good looks at the pitches from Kluber with that grip coming right out of the pitch, coming right out of the hand. Gordon lays off a high fastball, 1-1. And he short hopped it. Uribe will throw to first, 2 down. Couldn't tell initially. I thought maybe he caught it on the fly.
That
but
ball floated to him. It never got to him. That thing, he hit a changeup to Uribe at third. So that ball just floated out there. He short hopped it. The umpire was right on it. So he made the throw across to get out number 2.
And that will bring up Cheslor Cuthbert, who is 2 for 2 tonight with a single and double. But he was in the center of perhaps the game's biggest play, at least as far as the Royals are concerned. 1 out in the 4th inning. He hit one over the head of Lonnie Chisnall in deep right field. It was a sure double, and it looked like he had a triple. But Lonnie made a great throw to Jason Kipnis, who made a perfect relay to Juan Uribe. And the call was out at third. The Royals challenged it. It was very close. It was one of those, if it was a horse race, it was too close to call.
Yeah, it was close.
And on the photo finish, the call stands.
You know, we had the last couple of reviews like that go against us. So I was just waiting to see.
Lindor makes the catch, and Kluber just flew through the 6th inning. Royals go in a hurry. We go to the 7th, 2-0 Cleveland. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Up to 25% off on 2016's Save Now. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City lit up tonight. A sold-out house as the first-place Indians come to town. The defending champion Royals trying to close the gap in the division, but the Indians so far are not having any of that. Juan Uribe drove in the last run of this game with a ground out in the fourth. And Uribe sends one sky high. Gordon over near the line, can't get to it. It's just beyond his reach up into the seats there.
That's a first I've ever seen. The bat boy runs up to get Uribe's bat. He wipes off the thing and then starts kicking dirt out of his cleats and then gives him the bat. Never seen the bat boy do that.
Well,
beautiful.
He's got to be able to get back to his perch quickly, so he needs to knock that mud out.
That was beautiful.
Here's the 0-2. No chase. Once again, the Royals have their bullpen busy. I can't tell if it's Hochevar up again. I believe it is. Hard throwing right-hander, the former starter who's made himself into a valuable bullpen guy for KC. The 1-2. Again, Uribe lays off. So at 100 pitches on the night. Let's see, so far this year, Volquez he's gone over 100 quite a few times. And Uribe fouled that right into the mask of home plate umpire Jeff Nelson, but he says he's fine. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So this will be the 11th time this year that Volquez has gone over the 100 pitch mark. His season high of 115 pitches came coincidentally in his start at Cleveland back on June the 3rd. He went 6 1/3 innings and gave up 5 runs in that ball game.
Yeah, well, he's pitched well tonight. He really has.
Yep.
And Perez was just giving the umpire some time right there, is why he ran out and talked to Volquez. He was just giving Jeff Nelson a little longer breather after taking a direct hit in the mask.
Well, Uribe's done a nice job of laying off. After the count went to 0-2, it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes, and he shot a mean, but it had a friendly undertone look out to Volquez after that last pitch. I think he was kidding him, saying, come on, challenge me. Here's the 3-2. He did challenge him, and Uribe ropes it deep and fouling Volquez is probably saying, that's why I'm not challenging you.
Yeah, challenge him with a changeup. You know, he didn't give him the fastball. He just throws that off-speed pitch down and in and saying, what are you doing? That's not a fastball.
There's a ball clobbered to deep left. Back is Gordon and makes a running catch on the warning track for out number 1.
He came back with another changeup. Watch, he's going to say something as they go by. Get out of here. I'm not throwing you a fastball 3-2. And you see the laugh. Came back with another changeup, and this time Uribe was able to keep it fair. He slowed the dial down, but Gordon is able to run it down, track it down for out number 1.
That's a great reaction. You know, you have to enjoy the competition, and you have to have some fun. I mean, they're competing, but they're also having some fun with it.
You're right. It's mano-a-mano. Come on, let's go. And it is fun.
Tyler Naquin 1 for 2. He pulls it foul. Tyler back in the third inning. Dropped the barrel head of the bat and sent a line drive single into right field. Bounced out to end the fourth inning. Another chopper towards second base. Quick flip, got him. 2 away. Well, this Saturday, baseball on FS1 is back with a big-time double dip. Buster Posey and the Giants go to the Bronx to take on the Yankees. Then the Rangers will play these Kansas City Royals in a game you'll only see on FS1. The action begins at 4 Eastern on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Yeah, this is a pretty rugged stretch for Kansas City because they've got obviously these 3 games against the Indians.
Then Texas comes to town, another first place club.
And then they get the Angels, and they've been playing better.
Yeah, this is their longest homestand of the year.
And then they go to Texas on their next road trip. So it's a pretty big stretch for KC. Then again, I suppose when you think about it, when you're playing uphill and you're behind in the standings, there are no easy series.
Yeah, everyone, you have to win, or you think you have to win everyone. You know, for Kansas City, they're just under 700 at home. They're 29-13. You know, and the thing about them, if they continue to play well in this ballpark, 13 of the last 19 games are here to end the season.
It's just hard to figure why they're so drastically different. I mean,
don't
on
know.
the road, 17 and 32.
I know, and it's hard to believe. I know they score more runs here. They pitch better here. But it is hard to believe. You would think this show could travel, but they give up more runs.
Well, the big reason is the home runs. They've given up, what did I tell you? What did we say, 120?
Right now, 121.
48 of those have been here.
Okay.
The rest of them have been on the road. A little bit low.
Well, this ballpark may play into that scenario.
But I'm saying when you're on the road, that's a lot of home runs. So you're playing from behind a lot, and you're on the road. And
they're lucky they're pitching in this big ballpark, too.
They have taken advantage of being at home, too, with 6 walk-off wins, which I believe is tied for the most.
I'm sure that a lot of that feeds off of last year going through in the march to the World Series.
Tied for the second most in the American League. Would you believe the Astros have the most with 8?
Yeah, because we witnessed one down there in Houston. I would.
And we've had a hand in Minnesota. They have 6.
There you go.
Well,
3 of them.
3 of them against the Indians.
They sure do.
Oh, he called it a strike. And that'll end the inning. So Volquez continues to pitch strong. Stretch time in Kansas City. Indians by 2. Kansas City in front of a jammed house here at Kauffman Stadium. Corey Kluber with 6 shutout innings, and he's coming off his first 1-2-3 inning. Though he did face the minimum in the second with a ground ball double play, and in the fourth he only faced 3 batters because Cuthbert was thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple.
Yeah, both these pitchers coming off extended rests. Kluber's last start was July 8th. Of course, he did pitch in the All-Star game. And Volquez pitched the 9th against Seattle.
Orlando, that was an interesting reaction. Was he? Did he not like the pitch call?
No, I think he was mad at himself as he turned around because the breaking ball. You know, he wanted to hit it. I know what you were thinking. He was going to say something to the ump. I don't think he intended that. I think he was more mad at himself than anything.
I was looking for it. It was right there, and I didn't swing at it. Why?
Yeah.
Kind of that reaction.
You dummy.
You big dummy.
Yeah, right. Coming off Sanford and Son.
Swung out and missed. He chased one in the dirt and strikes out. That's number 8 for Kluber. 1 gone in the 7th inning.
Yeah, and he expanded the zone here. Got to 0-2. Don't have to throw a strike, and Perez goes down to just block it and make sure. Ends up catching it. Applies the tag. Strikeout number 8 for Kluber. In the first start for Kluber against Kansas City, June 5th, he went 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits. He walked 2 but struck out 6. In his second start, where he was bombed here in 5 innings, he struck out 7, walked 1, but gave up 9 hits and 8 runs in that start. So now tonight, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, has allowed just 5 hits. A couple of nice defensive plays behind him.
Out of play, right side, upper deck.
Again, the count sits 0-2.
And Whit Merrifield is 0 for 2 on the night. Royals have actually out-hit Cleveland 5-4. And with 2 walks and a hit batter, they've had plenty of traffic tonight.
Ooh, tried to dot the outside corner with back-to-back pitches. He brought that one in a little bit closer than the first one.
Slowly chopped to short. Lindor throws him out. 2 down. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to that 4th inning. Watch the 2 good throws.
Yeah, Chisenhall picks it up, and I mean, watch, Kipnis is right in stride. He didn't have to wait for that ball. It was right at shoulder height, so he could turn around and make a perfect throw to third base. They get him at third. They review it. The call stands. Yeah, you and me, baby. 2 good throws, and I'm telling you, that's even a better play because of the size of this ballpark.
No doubt about it. Well, those 2 are very good friends. During the All-Star break, Kip and Lonnie went deep sea fishing together off the coast of Carolina, North Carolina, and it took in quite a haul. Well, they said they get some trigger fish. And
they reeled in a big one on that relay.
Yes, they did. Now the 0-1. 1-1 offering is in there. No, just missed. Now it's 3 balls and a strike. And if Dyson gets aboard, Alcides Escobar would be next. Swings and sends one foul out of play. Full count.
That's exactly what you want him to do, is hit that ball to left field and hit it in the air high. Keep the ball off the ground.
And the 3-2 pitch. Up high, he would not chase. And Kluber has walked his 3rd of the night. And how about that, Rick? All 3 walks have come with 2 outs in the inning. 2-out walk in the 1st, 2-out walk in the 3rd, and a 2-out walk here in the 7th. He also had the 2-out hit batter in that 3rd inning. And Alcides Escobar, who has struck out twice and singled to center, stands in. Nobody up yet in the Indians bullpen as Dyson takes off the throw. Got him! Oh, baby!
They can't challenge either.
No challenges for Kansas City. Now, I guess Ned Yost could initiate an umpire, what do you call it, umpire, a chief review, but nothing doing. He's out. By authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Corey Kluber with another strong shutout inning of work here tonight. And as we go to the 8th inning, Kansas City makes the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. And it will be for Luke Hochevar, as Edinson Volquez went 7 innings tonight. Only gave up 2 runs on 4 hits.
Yeah, Volquez was very good tonight. The solo home run in the 1st, and then a little weak grounder. Scored 1 in the 4th.
And he walked 3. 1 of those came around to score against him.
You know, in his first 2 starts, or 3 starts, I should say, against Cleveland, he walked 4 in every start. So.
Good breaking ball, but it dips down and Santana lays off. 1-1.
Hochevar's last outing came Friday at Detroit, where he went an inning. He gave up 3 hits, and all 3 came around to score. Took the loss in that Friday night game.
Up high. 2-1. Smash right back at him. He knocks it down with his leg and throws him out, and he appears to be okay. Look at the stark contrast in the record for Kansas City between home and road. Now they score almost 5 runs a game at home.
40 points difference in the average. You can see about a run and a half per game offensively.
And again, the one thing that we don't show you there, but the difference in home runs allowed by Kansas City is pretty drastic as well. They've given up 121 home runs, 48 at home. The rest, the lion's share, have been on the road. Jason Kipnis with a line drive up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. So Kipnis is 1 for 4, and the Indians have a base runner in the 8th for Francisco Lindor.
Jumps on that first fastball he sees and just takes it right back up the middle. Merrifield went over there thinking he was going to have a chance. Even if he catches it with his momentum going away, don't know if he would have had a play with Kipnis at first. So Kip gets his first hit tonight.
Right back to him. And I mean, tailor-made double play ends the inning. Stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It is coming up next, right after the ball game here on Sports Time Ohio. Al, Jensen, Andre, I'll break it all down for you. As we head into the bottom of the 8th inning, Corey Kluber still out there on the mound. He has done a phenomenal job. But to give you an idea of how badly Terry Francona wants this game, in particular this series opener, you've got the lead, you're into the bottom of the 8th. Brian Shaw is warming up. Cody Allen was up. He threw a couple of balls just to get loose
Wait, something's going on here.
He probably threw 2 or 3 pitches, and then he's ready to go if needed. But now Corey Kluber.
You know what? I think they didn't have Shaw up ready to go. They're going to bring it out, and I think they just want to make a change.
Well, Corey was really late going out to the mound.
Just taking his time. I think he's fine. They're just. He just didn't have his bullpen up ready to go. I don't think anything was wrong with him. It's just a tactic.
He pointed to his right calf. Hopefully it's nothing serious at all, because the way this rotation's going right now, you don't want to see any bumps in the road for these guys.
Not the way he pitched tonight. Look at, he called in there. Oh, there it was. So he's done for the night, but he went 7 very good innings tonight. Just 5 hits.
Let's hope that's just something that cramped up on him and not anything of serious nature. He doesn't appear to be happy.
Matt, I think it's one of these.
Okay.
You know, I do.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay.
Brian Shaw is coming on when we come back. Telling everybody in the dugout, hopefully, that he's fine. Hopefully that's
maybe
what he's
cramped
telling
up.
him. Yeah.
It's warm here. The heat.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Brian Shaw on for the 44th time this year. 1 win, 3 losses, and ERA of 3.72. Fouled right back.
Shaw has been throwing the ball very well in his last 13 games. Has not allowed a run. Has thrown zeros up there. It's been outstanding.
Down low.
This will be the 4th time he's pitched against the Royals this year, covering 3 2/3 innings, giving up a couple of hits and a couple of runs.
Slowly tapped, and Shaw deflected it to Uribe.
He had an out if he doesn't touch it.
And
Lindor.
Escobar is aboard to start the inning.
I know it's reaction, and I know that's what you try to do. Lindor was right in line to make this play. Watch. He comes down. You see him break in. He's got it right there, but Shaw deflects it. It goes off his glove. It'll be an infield single for Escobar.
Now Eric Hosmer. Inside, ball one. So often in baseball, you talk about the closer, but many times the 8th inning is more critical than the 9th based on the lineup and what hitters are coming up. Hosmer didn't hit it hard, but he fisted it into center, and the Royals have their first 2 on.
Well, it was elevated, and it's the cutter inside. It did get on the trademark, but because it's elevated, it was easier for him to get it in the air and fight it off and hit it into shallow center. So they come up with back-to-back singles, and they're going to get a pinch hitter for Morales because I think his feet are hurting. And now that the first 2 are aboard, they had I think it was Eibner who was on deck, and now Colon comes on. This could be a bunt situation.
You think from following those balls off the left and the right foot?
I sure do. I sure do, because there was a hitter up before he even came back out. They switched it after the first 2 got aboard so they could bunt.
All right, so Colon up presumably to bunt with 2 on and nobody out. The infield will look for the bunt. Uribe and Napoli at the corners will pinch.
Now this is the loudest we've heard the crowd all night. They've been able to keep them out of the ball game.
He's already squared around. And he takes ball 1.
You just have to make sure that the Escobar at second, you got to keep him close. Shaw takes a while to get it to home plate.
Again, Napoli charging hard, and it's outside 2-0.
Well, they're letting you bunt. They're giving you an out. You have to take it. Now when you fall behind like this, a lot of times you can do what you want. You could manager has an opportunity to take it off, let him take a swing. You've got a bunch of guys moving around defensively. Like that.
Uh-oh. 2 will score. The Royals have tied it, and Colon is headed for third with the go-ahead run. Lindor's throw is in time. They got him. But Kansas City has tied it in the 8th.
Exactly what I was talking about there. 2-0 count. As a hitter, you don't really have to come in there. You can just pull it back, and the old Butcher boy, and he puts a great swing on it because Shaw had to throw a strike there, and he drilled it to deep left center field. Both runners score. He gets second time tonight that the Indians have had a man thrown out at third base defensively. 2 good relays tonight. But we have a new ball game, and for all the work that Corey Kluber has done, he's got nothing to show for it.
And now there are 2 down in the inning as the pop-up goes to Lindor at short.
Second really nice relay by the Tribe outfield tonight. This time Naquin gets it in, and it's a nice scoop by Lindor. And he one hops. That's a great throw, too, to make it easier for Uribe to stay low and apply the tag. Really, the defensive work from the outfield tonight has been great on 2 relays. And that's a good thing they got him there, because that would have been the go-ahead run.
And now Alex Gordon takes it's ball 1. Kind of the Kansas City MO of a year ago. They were an incredible come from behind team, especially in October. You know, and I think because of that, they always feel like they've got a chance.
They do in this ballpark. They sure believe that. But if you remember, this inning started where Shaw, if he would have let the ball go, there was a man in play. It went as an infield single. And then Hosmer, he got a pitch up in the zone. He fought it off, hit it into center, and fell behind the hitter and had to throw him a strike. So now Callaway has got to come out and have a talk with Brian Shaw.
Jeff Manship is now getting loose in the Indians bullpen. And Cheslor Cuthbert will be the batter for KC. Kansas City still has one of the best bullpens in baseball. And that's why when you let them come back late like this, it makes it very difficult to beat them. Because it's tough to score against that bullpen. The 1-1 elevated. Runner goes, and no throw by Perez.
Well, he held the ball and he thought he swung. But he never threw it. So a stolen base by Gordon. Watch, it's up there and he just never threw it. And he asked for help. You got to throw it and then ask for help.
So Gordon in the scoring position with 2 outs. And wow, close, but just missed. Full count. Payoff pitch, and it's out of play. Brian Shaw has faced 5 hitters in the inning. This is the 6th, Cheslor Cuthbert. He's walked 1. He's given up 3 hits and retired 1 batter. And the payoff pitch is out of play. Payoff pitch, and he's walked back-to-back hitters, and that's going to be it for Shaw. Terry Francona will make a move to the bullpen for Jeff Manship. The Royals have 2 on with 2 out in a 2-2 game in the 8th, and we'll be right back. Ball game now. This is how it unfolded. Alcides Escobar had a routine bouncer to short, but Shaw deflected it. He reached, then Hosmer muscled one through into center, and then after falling behind Colon, who was trying to bunt,
he threw him the cookie.
He butchered it into center, and then 2 scored to tie the game. Colon was thrown out trying to go to third, so that was a break momentarily. And after he got Perez to pop up, there were 2 down in the inning. But then he walked the next 2 hitters, Gordon and Cuthbert. And now Kansas City has yet another opportunity to take the lead as Paulo Orlando steps in against Jeff Manship.
Nice slider to start him off with, got him to swing at it.
Yeah, Orlando's been swinging a lot tonight. When he faced Kluber, he seemed to be all out of sorts.
Well, Kluber can have a knack to make right-handers swinging pitches out of the zone. A lot of right-handers do that, but you know, with Manship, he's tough on righties when that slider's right, and he started them off with the slider first pitch. He expanded the zone his last time with his last pitch.
Left field, base hit. Ramirez charging, coming around third. Gordon to the plate. The throw is safe at the plate. The Royals have taken the lead.
See this slider if it stayed on the inner part of the plate. Although he pulled it and hit it to left field, Ramirez made a nice throw. It was close coming home, But the 2 walks, the stolen base, and here comes Gordon with a wide turn. Here comes a throw by Ramirez. Just does get the hand in. I didn't get a chance to see where the slider was, but you know, it wasn't like the first one off the plate. You can see Gordon's hand gets in there, and both runners move up on the throw home. So it's 2nd and 3rd now with 2 outs.
And that one almost to the backstop. Nice backhanded stab by Perez.
There's the pitch right here. He had to be looking for that pitch. It stayed up enough for him. He kept his hands back.
Way outside, 2-0. What a come from behind performance by Kansas City in this 8th inning. Corey Kluber had shut them down completely through 7 innings.
Yeah, on 5 hits. They have 4 hits in the inning. 2 walks.
And this inning started with Brian Shaw warming up in the bullpen and Corey Kluber warming up on the mound, and then he signaled to the dugout that something was wrong with his right calf. He came out, Shaw came in, and it has spiraled out of control. As Kansas City still 2nd and 3rd with 2 down, and now the 3-0 pitch in for a strike to Whit Merrifield. Outside, he walked him. That's the 3rd walk in the inning. And the bases are loaded for Jarrod Dyson, who is the 9th man to bat for Kansas City. Now pitch, and Dyson drives it deep right. Holy cow.
The first home run of the year for Dyson, and it's a salami. And it's a 7-run 8th inning for Kansas City.
This ballpark is up for grabs now. In the dirt, ball 1 to Escobar.
He knew he was going to try and get ahead of him, and he threw him a fastball, middle end, and he just turned on it. This is a guy that pulled it down the line, usually tries to shoot it the other way.
Kansas City with an incredible comeback. 7 in the 8th. Brought to you by Mazda, which really don't amount to a hill of beans now after what just happened. But the obligation to our sponsor has been fulfilled. The key to this game was an absolute implosion by the Indians bullpen in the 8th inning, and that is that. Chris Young will get a chance to pitch with a 5-run lead now here in the 9th. Guy who is just tattooed as a starter this year, especially where the home run ball is concerned. So they're trying to maybe get him straightened around or just see what they can do out of the bullpen. A 6.79 ERA though for the year. 26 home runs.
He's had his problems and his issues this year.
Mike Napoli will lead it off for Cleveland. And takes a strike. And Napoli yelling at Jeff Nelson. He didn't like the call. One and one to count. Hit in the air, right field. Orlando back onto the track and makes the catch up against the wall. One down.
Well, he hit that ball pretty well going to right field. Orlando catches it about a step before the wall on the track. He's reaching for it. You could see that right hand went out. He knew he was getting awfully close. The big ballpark, though, goes as an out.
Jose Ramirez takes a strike. Bounced in front of the plate. Line drive center field hit for Jose Ramirez. A one-on-one out here in the 9th. Lonnie takes it down low, and Salvador Perez says, all right, now we don't have to go back to the bullpen with a 5-run lead here in the 9th, but they've got, I believe it's Herrera. I think that's who that is. Oh, Chen-Ming Wong is up. Low, 3-0.
Well, he's probably trying to stay away from his back end relievers with 2 more games to go in this series, but he may not have to. He may get him up.
Well, somebody else has just joined Wong in the bullpen.
Davis was up, you know, when it was 2-0.
Oh, sure.
Kansas City, he was up and ready to come in, but he's up again, so it won't take him long.
Hammer to right field. Jose Ramirez on his way to third. Lonnie will go to second. And the Indians have second and third with 1 out here in the 9th, down 5. And how long does Ned Yost wait?
Well, good question. He gets a fastball here, and Chisnall takes advantage of it. Gets on top of that heater. You get maybe one more guy. Island's going to come out, the pitching coach. He'll have his save for 30 seconds, and I'm thinking one more guy.
Yeah, because if Uribe reaches safely here, then the tying run moves to the on-deck circle, and it would be a save situation then too. Inside, ball one. Foul back into Perez. Weekly chopped towards second base. A run will score, but Uribe is out number 2. Ramirez comes home. Chisenhall to third. It's 7-3. And Tyler Naquin will try to keep it alive for the Indians. $38,042 Royals fans witnessing an incredible come from behind performance tonight, but they've seen that before here.
Yeah, but 7 runs in the 8th inning. That is incredible. Your starter went 7 solid innings. You turn it over to your bullpen, and the next thing you know, they drop a 7th spot. That's unbelievable. And this is the first game of a series. This is a game that could jumpstart Kansas City.
Remember earlier this year, Rick, they had that 7-run, I think it was a 7-run 9th inning against Chicago.
Yes, I do. And that was in the 9th inning.
Yep. Yeah, they trailed 7-1 after 8 and won it 8-7. That was swing and a miss. It's 3-2. The payoff pitch. Ball 4, and now it's a save situation, and we'll see Ned Yost go to the bullpen here. Naquin draws the walk, and the tying run for the Indians will go to the on-deck circle, and Ned Yost will make the right-handed wave to the bullpen for his closer, Wade Davis.
That's what happens when you try and get work for a reliever. I don't care what the score is. You see what happens.
It very rarely works out, does it?
I know it, man. Yeah. You had the guy warm, ready to go. Let's go.
Well, he's coming on when we come back. Davis will try to close it out for Kansas City. If he doesn't, that'll be a story to write about, because the way he's pitched in that closer's role, he's become one of the most dominant in baseball, and he's got pretty good cushion with a 4-run lead. Tying run is in the on-deck circle, so should Almonte reach to keep it alive, the Indians would at least give themselves one last swinging chance. But you figure in all the odds, and if you were an odds maker in Vegas, this is a long shot. Almonte just 3 for 19. And Wade Davis at times can be unhittable.
Yeah, Davis, you know, he was on the DL, and he worked Saturday night, his first time back into a ball game since being reinstated from the DL, and it was a 1-2-3 ninth in Detroit.
The opposition batting average against Davis this year is a .171. In 31 games, he's given up 4 runs. Broke his bat, popped him up, and Perez makes the catch. So it may not have been a must win, but it's a big W for Kansas City. They close to within 7 games of the Indians in the Central Division, and the Tigers move to within 5.5 games on Cleveland. 7-3 is the final. We'll be back with a final word right after this.